Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you about how to use shapes. So let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to learn about shapes and how to add them in our projects. So if you go here, you will see this square box, and this square box right here is the icon, you could say, for the rectangle tool. Now when you see this, if you click on it and keep pressing the left click, you will see other options right here, and these are all the different kinds of tools. So we're going to start off with the rectangle tool. Now when this is selected, you will see this cross type icon where the cursor is. Now to start off, this is the center. The dot in the center is basically telling you that when you click and then just try to create the shape, it is going to start off from the center of the cursor pointer, the little dot in between. Let me show you. So rectangle tool. So I'm going to start off from here. Actually, I'll just start off from anywhere. Just click and then drag it out. See, you can just create any kind of shape. Now let's say, let me just make this, actually let me just make this white. Yeah, like that. Okay, so when you create a shape like this, like I just showed you, what you can do is this right here. This is not a perfect square. You can create a rectangle from this, a perfect square, or even rotate it. I'll show you what I mean. Let's just go back. Let's just delete this and make this white again. Okay, so let's say I wanted a perfect square. This is a rectangle, but I want a perfect square. So when I am clicking and dragging, I just press the shift key like so, and it will start from this corner from where I started. And when you just expand, either go left or go down or just go diagonally, wherever you go, when the shape will start growing, basically, so it will grow in a perfect square when you keep pressing the shift key. I'm going to let go of the shift key now, and it became a rectangle again. Pressing the shift key, it became a square again, and I let go, and it's a perfect square now. Okay, so this is one thing you can do. Now let's continue. Now you have this shape. You can, if I click and drag and press Alt and then release while pressing Alt, it will duplicate that shape or any kind of object you have when doing this. It could have been a circle, a square, a triangle, anything. If I click, drag, and while pressing the Alt key I release, it will automatically duplicate that shape. Now when you go to the corner, you will see this double arrow curved cursor. Click and then just rotate it however you want. But let's say I wanted to rotate it only at a 45-degree angle. Click, rotate, but it's just going wherever I point the cursor. If I press shift and then rotate, it will automatically snap itself to a 45-degree angle. See, like this. Okay, another thing, actually, when you're near the corners, just click. You can just shrink this, but it's freely shrinking and expanding. So to shrink it like a perfect square, press shift and then just like shrink it. Okay, now I'm going to teach you, actually let me just make this a little smaller. Okay, now if you watch my pen tool tutorial, you will know what I'm about to do. Now there are a few ways to do this. A few ways to do this. First, to delete an anchor point, you need the direct selection tool. Because if you use the selection tool, it will select all of the anchor points all at once when you click on it. But if you use the direct selection tool, go to an anchor point, click on it, and it will select only that anchor point. And to know if that anchor point is selected, it will be a blue colored box, and here it's white colored boxes. In a sense, you could also think of it like there's a fill inside of the box when it is selected, and it is without any fill when it is not selected. And by box, I mean these anchor points right here, these square anchor points. Okay, so when one of this is selected, you can do this in two ways. To delete an anchor point, you can do it in two ways. One is you will see this minus pen tool like icon, remove selected anchor points. And no matter how many you select, when you click on this, it will automatically delete all of those anchor points, or in this case, one of those anchor points. And the second way to do this is I have not selected anything here. I will go to my pen tool. When I'm on an anchor point, first select that anchor point. When that anchor point is selected, using the direct selection tool, select that anchor point. When it is selected, when you hover over it with the pen tool, you will see a minus sign under the pen tool icon. That is indicating that you can delete this anchor point because it is selected. Now, even if it is not selected, basically the shape has to be selected is what I meant. The shape itself has to be selected. See, for example, let's say I haven't selected this shape. Now when I hover over this anchor point, it is showing me that I can start continuing. Here, like, let me just show you what I mean, like this. But if that shape is selected like it is right now, I can just delete it. Oh, sorry, I unselected it by mistake. I can just delete it. See, so that is how you delete anchor points. Okay, now free transform is something I want to show you with the direct selection tool. Select all of this and move it, place it. Now free transform is basically when you have a shape, click on an anchor point and you can just like freely transform this shape to whatever you want it to look like. That's it. And another thing you can do is, let's delete this. If you double click while you have selected the rectangle tool or any of the other shape tools, if you double click, a box will appear. In this box you can set the height, the width, and this basically means that if I change the width from here, it will automatically change the width accordingly here. Like for example, let's say I made this 100 and pressed enter. Sorry, that didn't explain it. Now it is linked. Sorry, my mistake. Now it is linked, and let me just go back to 3. Let me just make these again 3, 3. Okay, now I've linked these two right here. Now if I change this one, it will automatically go accordingly to what the previous setting was. Like it's 100 right now, so it'll also reflect that much number here, that many numbers here. Now if I add a 5, it will automatically add that 5 in the height as well. Now let's say this is 10. Okay, now I'm going to link these back, and now I am going to make this 100 again. Now it automatically changed it accordingly. Okay, so basically this is how this works, the linking works. Now I'm going to press OK, and it will automatically create the shape. Now the width is from left to right and the height is from top to bottom. So let's do this again. This time I'm going to make this the width, and this is not linked. You can tell it's not linked by this chain sign having a slash in it. And if it is linked, it's like 2 chain pieces linked. That's basically the difference. Now I'm going to make this 50, and this is going to be 100. Now remember, height is from top to bottom, width is from left to right. So this is going to be longer from left to right and shorter from top to bottom. See? Okay, so this is how this works. Now let's move on to the next tool, the Ellipse Tool. Now the Ellipse Tool is basically used to create circles and ovals. So again, another thing I want to add, I forgot in the rectangle tool. Let's say you wanted to start from the center, like your shape should start expanding from the center. With this shift key pressed, it starts from where you started. It starts expanding from where you started. But if you press the shift and the alt key from where you started, it will grow in all directions, all of the directions at once. That's how it's going to work if you press the shift and the alt key at the same time. And now I'm going to let go. This is the Ellipse Tool. You can also make like these ovals, like so. So again, just click, drag, alt, release, and then pen tool, anchor point selected. The object selected and anchor point is also selected. So I'm seeing a minus sign, and I press, and it deletes that. Okay, it deletes that anchor point and makes this curve right here. Okay, and let me just make this a total circle, doing this, and there you go. Now let's click, drag, alt, release, direct selection tools, pressing shift, release. I can rotate it. Okay, and the free transform, I'm gonna take this. Oh, sorry. Selection tool, release. Okay, and the free transform is going to transform this. I'm going to like just bring this out. I'm just going to like make it like this D-like shape. So that's free transform. Also, like I said before, you can create circles. Remember, width, height is top to bottom and width is left to right. Linking, unlinking, I've already shown you this. There you go. Okay, now the star tool. Now this one is something you need to pay attention to, I would say. Now let's go to the star tool. Again, click shift alt and grow this shape, or move the cursor and it will automatically grow along with it. And starting from the middle, because I pressed shift and alt, releasing, and you have a star like shape. You see the anchor points? These are the star-like shapes. This is a star-like shape. Anyways, again, let's create another shape. Now, this is going to be a little something you need to pay attention to. Now, I'm going to create the shape, but I'm going to press the up arrow key right now. And by pressing that, you can see the number of points in this have also been increased. To decrease these, I can go down, pressing the down arrow key. To increase these, I can press the up arrow key. See? Now let me show you another thing. Now I've expanded this shape, and remember, after you add points, it will maintain that number, the number of points you wanted to add. It will maintain it on the next shape as well. So remember, press down to decrease these. Now it's the star shape again. Now, the thing I wanted to show you is actually going to be more visible if I show you like this. The thing I want to show you is when you have these points, actually let me just zoom into this a little bit. Now, when you have these points, if I press the control key and then go down, you will see the shape, the size of the star is the same, but the points on the star are now increasing, and that is because I am pressing the control key. It's going to be the command key on Mac. So yeah, just remember that. If I go in, it'll go inwards. If I go up, it'll go outwards. And this is because I'm pressing the control key. Now I'm going to release the control key. And it maintained those points going outwards. It kept that shape. And now I can shrink the shape itself. The points are the same length, but the shape is something now I can grow and shrink, like so. But if I press the control key again, now the points are something that I can grow and shrink. So I'm gonna leave them like this. You can just see the difference. Okay, you can see the difference right here. These are normal and these are more outward. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now this is the free transform one. Okay, I'm gonna increase number. Okay, now the free transform is basically the same thing. You can just like freely transform the shape however you want using the anchor points. Now, the thing I want to show you here is you can create the shape. For example, if I double click here, it will give you different kinds of options. Like these, and these. The points are basically those, like when I press the up key and the down key, those will increase the points, the sharp points, these ones right here. Now the radius, it isn't linked technically. Okay, let me just show you. It's better to show you. Now let's make this 40 and make this 100. Okay, you see these are out because I made this 100, and these ones right here are normal because I made these 40. Let me just show you again, but this time I'm going to make this 100 and this 40. Now this rotated it like you just saw. Now this is basically just showing you, I just wanted to show you where the radius 1 matters and where the radius 2 matters. Okay, just show you. Let me just make this 400, for example. See, because the radius was 400, the first one, it grew the shape. But let me keep this to 40, make this one 400. Now the points are more outwards, but these ones right here are inwards. So radius 1 is these ones, the in points. The radius 2 is those corner points. Remember that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Polygon Tool. Now the Polygon Tool is kind of like a square, but it has like more points to it. Now the Polygon Tool will, when you click and drag, will expand from the center, so you don't have to press shift. But let's say you wanted the Polygon Tool to like maintain the like be at the center like this. Now like if I move the cursor, you are seeing the points are moving with it. Okay, but I wanted to maintain its shape, so I'm going to press the shift key like this and then expand, and you will see that it's maintaining the shape. If I was doing it before, it was moving along with cursor, but now I'm moving the cursor, it is not rotating with it. Okay, that's the difference. Now let me just create another shape, another polygon, but this time I'm going to press the up key, and it is going to add more points to it. As you can see, the number of points increased. That's if you press the up key. If you press the down key, it will decrease those points. So let me just create another one, and this time if I keep pressing the down key, it has made it a perfect square. And if I press it again, it's a circle, a triangle now. So this is when you press it, when you press the up key, this is when you press the down key. Okay, so this is basically where I wanted to tell you how it would be if you press the down keys, but looks like I already explained that. So this is when you press the up key, it will increase the points. This is when you press the down key, it will make it into a triangle. Okay, let's just delete this one. Bring back the same shape, you basically just press the up key. Okay, so this is how the up key and the down key works. Okay, so the free transform is basically the same. This basically increases the number of the points, which you can also do by pressing the up key and the down key. This one right here, this is the up key and the down key. If you press it, these increase and decrease. But the radius is basically, you could kind of say it like it expands the size of the shape. How much is the shape is going to be big or how much it is going to be small. That's basically the radius right here. So it is like, let's make this 30 for now. it has 6 points, so basically it's this shape right here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there you go. But let's make this 300 now, and as you can see, this is like way bigger than we needed. Let's just make this 100. I think that's right. Yeah, that's all right. Let's just shrink this a little bit. Oh, yeah, a little bit more. Okay, so that's the polygon tool. Now is the rounded rectangle tool. This is kind of like the rectangle tool, the one we use to create a square shape, but this just has like rounded corners. Let me just show you what I mean. Now, as you can see, the corners right here are rounded, and you can also create a perfect square, see? But let me show you something. When you are using the rounded rectangle tool, before on those star and polygon tool, if you pressed up, the points increased. But if you press up with the rounded rectangle tool, if you see here, the curves are more curved now, or like you could say they're kind of creating a circle-like shape now. But if I press down, it can also become a perfect square, or by pressing up, they can go more inward and create curves on those corners right here. Now I'm going to create another one, but this time I'm going to press up all the way, and this has become a perfect circle. And now another one, but this time I'm pressing down, and now it is fully down, and I have released, and it is now a perfect square. And that is because I pressed the down key and made sure that it was the number decreased all the way down, and it made points here. If I pressed it all the way up, it made it a full circle. And if I made it somewhere in between, or like how much I wanted it to be round, I kept pressing for that long of a period, it made it slightly rounded on the corners. Okay, so the free transform is basically the same thing. You can like freely transform this however you want, like this, and just create a shape, and just press one of the click one of the endpoints and just like do whatever you want. You can freely transform this shape. Now, the thing I want to teach you here is, just like all of the others, if you double click, you will get this box, and the width and the height I have already explained, but the corner radius is basically how much curvature you want, how much you want the corners to be curved. So that's the corner radius. And linking you have already learned in when we started this tutorial, when we started with the rectangle tool. Okay, see, let's create another one, but this time let's make the radius like 0, and it will be a square. And another one, this time let's make it 100, and the radius was a bit long, that's why it's done that. Let me just bring this in, and now it is a perfect circle. Basically what I did with the 100 one was, this is fully curved, 100% curved. This is slightly curved, and this is fully uncurved. Fully uncurved. Okay, so this is it for this tutorial. I really hope you like this tutorial. Like, subscribe, and share with all your friends, and remember to click the bell icon to get notified of the latest videos. Till then, this is me signing off. Peace.